In 2017, Meghan Markle made her first public appearance with Prince Harry at the Invictus Games, but what seemed like a simple debut was actually a carefully orchestrated PR move. As we're gearing up for the 2025 Invictus Games, it's the perfect time to look back at how Meghan went from playing the humble royal girlfriend to completely hijacking the spotlight in later years. In part one of this three-part series, we'll break down her mirroring tactics, the shift from false humility to attention seeking, and her rules don't apply to me evolution. If you thought Meghan's entrance into royal life was organic, think again. It was strategy from the start. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's get into it. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to go through an article that was released at the time in 2017, and we already see Meghan's character coming out. Hindsight is truly 2020. The article is titled Why Meghan Markle and Prince Harry Didn't Sit Together at the Invictus Games Opening Ceremony. And as you can see, this was released September of 2017. Late Saturday night, news broke that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had made their first public appearance together at the Invictus Games in Toronto. But together was really too strong of a word. They were seated several rows apart, so far that cameras couldn't even capture them in the same frame. Those looking for a lovey-dovey debut were sorely disappointed and also confused. Why wasn't Prince Harry with his girlfriend? The first reason is political. Prince Harry was in a VIP area meant for dignitaries and government officials. Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie, First Lady Melania Trump, the United States representative at the event, the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, just to name a few. Markle may have an impressive activist background, but as Prince Harry's girlfriend, she doesn't hold any official title or role yet. That will change if she marries Harry. And according to several other reports, royal protocol says that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle aren't allowed to sit next to each other at official events until they're engaged. And actually, this is something we're going to get into in part 2 of this video. Stick around. That's going to be amazing. But there's likely another reason. It is rumored that although Markle wanted to go support her boyfriend, she didn't want to take attention away from the athletes or the event itself. She wasn't wrong. Dozens of major news outlets, including this one, reported on her appearance immediately, yet the coverage was relatively contained. There's not much to write about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sitting far away from each other, politely chatting with their neighbors, although some say Prince Harry looked over at her once or twice, but when that's making the news, it means there wasn't much to work with. I had to suppress quite a few giggles while I was reading that because, oh, how times have changed. And this is what I want to talk about, how she has now hijacked the Invictus Games. How did it happen? Well, we know that initially she has this false humility act. In 2017, Meghan was playing the long game. She wasn't just dating Harry, she was auditioning for the role of a royal. At that stage, she needed to seem gracious, respectful, and unproblematic. And what does that mean? She stays in the background to not ruffle feathers. She plays by the royal rules, even if they were inconvenient. And she created an image or an illusion of being selfless and a supportive partner. This aligns with the narcissistic tactic of mirroring. She became what she thought people wanted. She may have seen Catherine, Princess of Wales' approach as a royal girlfriend, quiet, elegant, non-controversial, and copied it just enough to appear suitable for the role. But this was never who she really was. It was an act to get through the door. At this stage, Meghan had no official royal status. She was still Prince Harry's girlfriend, allegedly, but we will get into that in part 2 of this video. So this means that she had to play by the rules, not because she respected them, but because she needed to seem like a perfect fit for the royal family. This is classic narcissistic behavior, adapting to an environment until they have enough power to start breaking the rules. So what are some ways that Meghan was mirroring in this example? She was mirroring the demure royal girlfriend. At Invictus 2017, her behavior is the complete opposite of how she acts at Invictus today. In 2017, she sat separately from Harry when she was first there. She sat away from him in the public section while Harry was in the VIP area with dignitaries like Melania Trump and Justin Trudeau. From what I've been reading, and according to royal protocol, non-engaged partners weren't allowed to sit in official royal seating. Meghan obeyed this rule without complaint. Compare this to years later. Once she started having power, she ignored rules and demanded VIP status and made sure she was seated right next to Harry. She also avoided cameras, which you know is totally not her behavior now. In fact, now she calls the cameras, allegedly. And the article states that Meghan tried to avoid drawing attention to herself. She kept her body language low key, didn't wave at cameras, not very often, and acted like she was there to support Harry and the athletes. This was highly strategic. Meghan wanted to appear humble and selfless. Compare this to years later, where she's actively courting cameras, making grand entrances, and inserting herself into every moment. So, what's the narcissistic play here? Meghan was mirroring what a perfect royal girlfriend should look like: classy, respectful, and quietly supportive. But this was just a temporary act until she secured her position. Another way Meghan used mirroring at Invictus 2017 was by aligning herself with Harry's causes. She's suddenly passionate about veterans. Before dating Harry, Meghan had no history of working with veterans or the military, except for the USO in Christmas time 2014, which, in my opinion, is a little bit suspicious as well. But at Invictus 2017, she suddenly positioned herself as deeply invested in the cause. This was intentional mirroring. Harry has always been passionate about veterans due to his military background. By aligning herself with this cause, Meghan made herself seem like his perfect match. She acted humble in public, but made private power moves. Publicly, she acted gracious and humble, not drawing attention to herself, but behind the scenes, she was already solidifying her position. Around this time, she had already begun leaking information to the press, despite claiming she wanted privacy, allegedly. So, what's the narcissistic play here? Meghan was mirroring Harry's humanitarian work to seem like his ideal partner, but this wasn't genuine, because if it were, she'd still be involved in other veteran causes today. Meghan wasn't just making a public debut, she was carefully crafting an image that mirrored royal and celebrity behavior to fit into the role she wanted, and here's why. Meghan wanted a royal moment without actually being engaged yet, allegedly. She was imitating royal behavior before she had the title. By staging it early, she planted the idea that she was already the one before it was official. And I don't know if you all remember, but it was very quickly that the media and the press and all the news was out there asking about when Harry and Meghan were going to become official and get married. And there's a reason why that happened. The narcissistic play here is using mirroring to manufacture status. Meghan wasn't officially royal, but she played the part. She mirrored both royal engagement debuts and Hollywood PR tricks to shape public perception. She forced the narrative early by staging this debut. And the reason this is considered mirroring is because she was performing an image she hadn't earned yet. Instead of waiting to announce an official engagement, which wouldn't come for another 2 months, she acted like she already was, borrowing behaviors from both royal tradition and celebrity culture. And again, I keep going back to this, but we are going to talk about engagement and Invictus 2017. And I was pretty surprised when I found out this information, but that will be part 2 of this series. So if we talk about just that pap walk moment when Meghan is wearing the ripped jeans and they walk in, this wasn't just a cute couple moment. It was a carefully crafted image designed to make Meghan appear as a future royal before it was official. And again, I know I keep saying that it's mirroring, but this is exactly what I mean by it's mirroring. Meghan wanted control over her public debut. She let royal protocol dictate the first appearance by seating separately, but as soon as she could stage her own narrative, she did. So, how does this contrast with later Invictus Games? By comparing 2017 Meghan to 2023 Meghan, we see a clear narcissistic evolution. In 2017, she quietly sat in the background and respected royal protocol. She avoided the spotlight, acting like she didn't want attention. She mirrored Harry's humanitarian causes to seem like his perfect match. And now, she demands VIP treatment. She sits next to Harry at all times. She makes grand solo entrances at Invictus, and she even arrives late sometimes for maximum attention, in my opinion. She uses the event to talk about herself, complaining how hard it was to leave her kids rather than focusing on the veterans. And she has started dressing like a celebrity and not a humanitarian by wearing these custom designer outfits and camera-ready looks. Conclusion: 2017 Meghan was a mask. She mirrored what was expected of a royal girlfriend until she had power. Once she secured status, she dropped the act and started breaking rules. She no longer pretends to be just a supporter of Invictus. She acts like she's the star. The 2017 article that we are talking about in this video is gold because it proves Meghan was never truly selfless. She played the part until she didn't have to anymore, and that's textbook narcissistic behavior. So let's talk about this shift to attention-seeking behavior. Instead of being a background supporter, she now makes herself the main attraction. We've seen all of her dramatic arrivals, including in 2023 when she showed up late and she made a speech talking about why she wasn't there. She takes over the spotlight. Instead of keeping the focus on the veterans, she inserts herself into everything, from photo ops to unnecessary speeches. She reframes everything around her struggle. The most glaring example was her speech about how hard it was to leave her children behind, making the event about her feelings instead of the wounded soldiers who had actually sacrificed everything. This is classic narcissistic supply. She needs admiration, attention, and control over the narrative. The quiet supporting Meghan of 2017 was a mask. Once she had power, the real Meghan emerged. A narcissist's goal isn't just love or admiration, it's control and status. Meghan didn't just want to marry Harry, she wanted the platform. In 2017, she played by the rules because she needed royal credibility. By 2019, she thought she had it, and suddenly the royal system was oppressive and racist. By 2020, she and Harry quit and tried to monetize their royal connections through Netflix, Spotify, and their, in quotation marks, philanthropy. This is textbook discard behavior. She got what she wanted, which was fame and influence. Well, she believed she got what she wanted, fame and influence, and then trashed the very institution that gave it to her. She exploited the victim narrative. In 2017, Meghan was choosing to remain in the background for the good of the veterans, but in later years she claimed that she was forced into silence. The royal family didn't protect her. She was the victim of protocols she once voluntarily followed. This contradiction is key to understanding her narcissism. She retroactively rewrites history to make herself the victim. If Meghan was really silenced, why was she happily staying in the background at Invictus? The truth is, back then, she was playing along because it benefited her. But once it no longer served her, she weaponized it as part of her victim narrative. When we compare Meghan from current day to 2017 Meghan at Invictus, we see an evolution of this, in quotation marks, the rules don't apply to me. This is so fascinating because it shows how Meghan's sense of entitlement grew once she secured status. In 2017, she complied with royal protocol, she sat separately from Harry, she dressed modestly, and she played the role of a rule follower. This was self-preservation because she wasn't part of the royal family yet. Post-wedding, between 2018 and 2020, the mask starts slipping. She began breaking royal rules in small but noticeable ways. wearing outfits that violated royal dress codes like dark nail polish and bare shoulders, publicly holding Harry's hand at events where other royals followed the no PDA rule, speaking over senior royals and acting as if she was equal to them rather than deferring to rank. After leaving the royal family, so 2020 to present, this is when it has become clear that Meghan never respected the rules. She just played along until she had enough power to ignore them. Now she completely disregards protocol. A great example of this is this constant need and demand for royal security and perks, and luckily she keeps getting denied this access. She presents herself as more important than actual royals. At Queen Elizabeth's funeral, she positioned herself for maximum camera time, despite being a minor royal. And of course, we see her entitlement at the Invictus Games. She acts as if she created the event, even though she did not. This follows a classic narcissistic pattern. Step 1. Follow the rules when powerless, and that's 2017 Meghan. Step 2. Push boundaries once comfortable. That's 2018 to 2019 Meghan. Step 3. Break all the rules when feeling powerful. That's 2020 and on. And step 4. Rewrite history to justify it. I was oppressed, so now I deserve special treatment. The irony, the same royal protocols she used to respect are now the ones she publicly condemns. Meghan's transformation from humble, rule-following girlfriend to entitled, attention-seeking diva follows a textbook narcissistic trajectory. This 2017 article that we read in the beginning of this video captures her mask and not her true self. Now, years later, we see the real Meghan. This is the one who believes she deserves to be the center of attention, who disregards rules she once followed, who rewrites history to fit her victim narrative, and uses any platform, even an event for wounded veterans, to feed her own ego. This old article is so fascinating because it gives us a glimpse into the pre-Mirror Smash era when Meghan still had to pretend. Now she no longer has to, and the Queen of Delulu is fully unmasked. So I'm interested to know in what you all think of this. Did you find this interesting? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you see how the mask slipped? And isn't it funny how in hindsight, it's so much easier and clearer to see her behavior? I mean, I definitely see it now. So please let me know what you think about this. Part 2 and part 3 of this series are coming soon, and you are all going to love them. It's so fascinating. I'm so excited to bring those to you. And yeah, if this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when new videos are dropped. And I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye, everyone. If Valentine's Day with a narcissist feels more like an emotional obstacle course than a celebration of love, you're not alone. This day can be incredibly triggering for them, which means it often becomes painful for you. That's why I put together a guide called Surviving Valentine's Day with a Narcissist Protecting Your Peace. Inside, I break down why this holiday brings out their worst, the tactics they use, and most importantly, how you can protect your energy. There are also some journaling prompts and recovery strategies to help you process everything afterwards. You can grab it now on my Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.